Hey all, I have to make this video decently short because I want to be productive and I need to get out of the house so I can be at a coffee shop so I can work really hard on the free version of the ABCs of LGBT. So, one of the sections of the free version of the ABCs of LGBT that needs to be very much rewritten and will unfortunately be cut down quite a lot is the spectrum section, which is so sad because I value spectrums so much. And to me, spectrums aren't necessarily linear spectrums. They are just visual representations that can depict the complexity of identity. So what I want to do is I want to fill this version of the ABCs with tons of reader submissions because I want it to feel like really about you guys and about the community. And so what I'm looking for is for people to submit some identity spectrum art. So I would like for you to turn your sexual and or gender identity into some kind of spectrum and or visual representation. So like I said, it doesn't just have to be linear. If you feel like a linear spectrum is too binary or it puts too many limitations on your identity, fine. You could turn it into a circle if that's too much, or if that's still too limited, fine. You could describe your identity in a three-dimensional sphere, cool. If that's like too much, you can draw a ton of squiggly arrows and add some footnotes. You can add color. There are no rules. You can make your spectrum as custom and non-traditionally spectrumy as you want. I even have a person named Charlie who I asked of whom I asked for them to turn they're talking so hard. I asked them to make their identity into a spectrum, and they essentially sent me a picture. Just a beautiful picture of them floating through space. That is the least traditionally spectrum I have ever encountered, and I freaking love it. So there's going to be, for all the instructions, if you want to submit one of these spectrums, all the instructions are in a Google Doc linked below. And there's tons of examples in that Google Doc. If you're still not quite sure, if you're like, I'm still not quite getting it. What do you mean turn my sexual and or gender identity into a spectrum? How? What should it look like? What are the rules? Well, all the instructions are in this Google Doc, and there are at least, like, I think 5 examples. So yeah, and I just, like, got one today, which I really like, from Toby. Toby sent this to my email, and I love it. Look at all these little symbols and colors, and clearly Toby, like, has some complexities in their identity that they felt just needed explanation. Thus, they put a ton of footnotes, which is cool. Totally, totally cool. So yeah. The only, I would need them before June, because I know a lot of you are going to ask what the deadline is. So it's a pretty quick turnaround before June, and, in order for them to be chosen to go into the book, they do have to be high quality. That doesn't mean that you have to be an amazing artist. It just means that it can't be this big, because if I try to blow it up at all, it'll get pixelated, and it means it can't be like something you drew physically with a pencil on a piece of paper and then took a picture on your iPhone and then sent it to me. No, it has to be, like, digitalized in some way. If you can make a really dope piece of, like, traditional physical art with, like, watercolor and sparkles, sweet, that's neat. I need you to find a high quality way to digitalize it or scan it nicely in. And then you can send it to ashleymardellbusiness@gmail.com. And unfortunately, I can only choose a few to go in the book. And I will be compensating the people that I do pick. Sadly, I'm not making any money from this free version, so I don't really have a budget to work with, or I can't even think, well, I'll probably make this much money from it, so therefore I'll be paid back so I can pay artists this. So I'm not making any money from this version, so sadly I'm only, like, commissioning these things out for, like, $20, which will be, like, after I choose 7 or 8, it'll be like $200 out of my pocket just to make this. So I know that's low. I hope you understand. I'm sorry. I wish I could pay you each. I wish I could let everybody's art go in the book. And I wish I could pay you each $100. Unfortunately, that would be like $2,000 that I don't have. I hope you understand. Anyway, check out the Google Doc. It's really cool, and I really want to see yourselves spectrumified.